Hello YouTube and welcome to Backtracks Australia. In this episode I'm going to go through my various types of waterproofing equipment for my person. I'm not going to go into waterproofing pack and equipment. This is purely just to keep me dry on the trail. I'm a person who, I'm not an ultralighter, so I do care if I do get wet. So I'm going to go through the various systems that I have bought and just quickly give you an outline as to why I've picked them and a few pros and cons without getting into too much depth. I'll do individual review videos of the products at another time. So the first thing I'm going to go through, I'm going to start from this side. I'll be hiking with sneakers on, so they're not waterproof. I recommend if you're really worried about your feet getting wet, wear boots or wear waterproof shoes. However, I'm against this idea, but I'll explain that in another video. So if you are worried about getting wet feet, certainly wear waterproof boots or shoes. I wear gaiters every single time I hike. These basically keep water from running out into the top of your shoes. And look, I don't wear them for that benefit. I wear them for the protection from sharp prickles or twigs, or when you're bushwhacking, or snake bites, things like that. So that's why I wear gaiters, but they have the benefit of keeping water out from trickling into the top of your boot or shoe. Again, if you're wearing a non-waterproof shoe, you're not going to get any benefit in the rain from wearing gaiters. So that's what I choose. So I'm going to go on to what I wear on my legs, actually. On my overland hike, I was trying to buy some brand new equipment. It didn't arrive in time, so I had to fall back to my trusty old Northface pants. These are fantastic, but unfortunately they're not the lightest pants in the world. These pants weigh 270 grams, which isn't bad. They don't compact down too small. But look, they're fine. They've got a good thick sturdy material, so if you get snagged it's unlikely they're going to break. They've got adjustment, they've got an inside sort of a knot system, so you can tie that tight around your waist. I had to buy a size large. Generally, when I've found with rain equipment, go a size larger than what you usually would, simply because you've got to wear it over the outside of whatever clothing you're wearing. These aren't bad. They've got zips. They aren't waterproof zips, but they're designed, I guess, the rain beads over the top of them. I would certainly not trust them. I wouldn't put your phone or anything like in there of high importance. Maybe some snacks or food definitely would be suitable to put in these pockets. So these are the high vent DTs. I don't know if you can buy them anymore. I've had them for quite a few years. But as a sturdy option, and it's not going to break the bank, certainly the Northface pants are a good option, but they are heavy at 270 grams. I'll put that aside. Along with the Northface jacket, again, this is what I wore on the Overland, and these both kept me really dry. Like, I didn't have any water creep in at all, and we were hiking in days of 3 to 4 hours, constant, non-stop, heavy downpour. So here I have the Northface jacket. It's another venture jacket, I believe, the design of it. This one is 340 grams. It's very simple. It doesn't have any mesh. It's okay, so you're not going to feel too comfortable in this. You will sweat, and it will keep all the moisture in. Hence, it's not very breathable. It's waterproof. So I've got the large/extra large. So again, I've gone up in a size or two to make sure it fits over my puffy coat. Because I figure when I'm out at base camp, I'm wearing my usual shirt, my fleece jacket, my puffy coat on top, and then this guy will go on the outside if it is really windy and I need some more warmth, or if it is rainy, because I do not ever let my down jacket get wet. So there's quite a lot of adjustability, which I'll go through a little bit later, probably in another video. So they're what I carried on the Overland Track. They're not the lightest option, so they come at 610 grams, the pair of them together. So I'm going to move on to another option that I tried when I hiked the Bibbulmun. Now, I was going to take the Northface jacket and pants. However, someone came to me and said, right, scrap that. I've had an epiphany. I found the greatest thing ever. It's called a poncho. And so I looked into it and I found a Sea to Summit poncho. This is made out of their regular material, not their ultra seal material. So that came at a weight of 230 grams if you were getting the ultra seal, which is pretty good if you want a lightweight option. Alternatively, the one I have is 400 grams. So I really was only saving 200 grams by taking this. It did add the option, I did make a shelter out of this once for my packs when my partner and I slept in the tent, just to give us more room in the tent, which was great. It is a good emergency shelter. I guess it's got multiple uses, and it also was my pack cover when it was raining. So this would go over me and my pack, which I guess made it easier to take on and off, whereas if you're wearing a two-piece rain outfit, you have to take the pack off, then take your jacket off, your pants off, put it back in the pack and you're done. Where with this poncho option, I just chuck it over the top, and when I'm done, I just took it off and put it in the stuff sack in the side of my pack, so I didn't have to take it off. Just note, my pack was about 20 kilos on the Bibbulmun, so taking it on and off was actually quite a strenuous activity, and man, I have learned a lot since then, hence why I'm doing a lot of videos, hopefully to share my mistakes and what I've learned from them with you guys, so you don't make them and you don't waste a lot of money buying really equipment that's not really fit for, I guess, lightweight hiking. So that's my poncho. It's got a little hoodie built into it. It does button up at the side, so you can open it up into a very large tarp. I hated wearing it. It was the worst thing on the planet, and I could have launched this across the, the side of the earth several times, because it is just frustrating. It's you did get a little bit wet because it leaked through the sides where it buttoned up. But look, it's a lightweight option if you get the Ultra Seal and you're not that fussed about getting wet. Your legs get wet, so your boots get wet. Yeah, so it's something to consider. Now, something I've done a lot of research into is what I'm going to take for the future on my hike. So I have found out through lots of research that I believe that the Helium 2, the women's Helium 2, by Outdoor Research, to be the lightest weight jacket that I think has got the coolest features on it. Again, I'll do a separate review with all the features there. This is what I'm going to take next time on a hike, and it weighs 160 grams as opposed to my Northface jacket, which was 340. It's got a good feel, got lots of adjustability. It's just really lightweight. I'm worried it may not be as breathable as the Northface because the Northface had pit zips. This one doesn't, however the fabric is really thin, so it might naturally breathe through the fabric. In saying that, it's waterproof, so if water can't get through, it's not much air is going to get through. So I'm going to try that, and this one does have properly I guess water resistant zips, so I would be definitely confident in keeping my phone in this zip as opposed to in the Northface zips on the pants there. So that is the Outdoor Research Helium 2 rain jacket. I've also got the Helium women's jacket in the Outdoor Research as well. Just note the size. I actually had to order 2 lots of these. My first order, I sized myself up online. People said it's a regular fit. They're generally, it's quite a generous sizing. So I bought, I believe, the medium. That was way too tight, so I've gone and ordered the large. And you know what, it fits okay, but going an extra large probably wouldn't hurt. However, I'm not going to send another back and try to sell this, I'm just over it, honestly. And the same thing with the pants. I got a medium. It said I was a medium. It said they run in generous sizes, so I ordered it. Again, it doesn't fit. I've sold it online and I've bought myself a large. Again, the large, it fits, it's long enough, it goes around the waist just fine. However, in the crutch area, if I'm trying to lift my foot up onto a step or onto a rock or anything where I'm trying to gain elevation on, I found it gets really tight and I'm worried I might rip the seam. So I would get an extra large if I could easily just go down the shop and do that. Unfortunately, all this stuff you have to buy from online and most of it comes from America. So anyway, that aside, so these weigh 152 grams. So in comparison to the Northface, that was 270, so I'm saving a fair amount of weight here. It's very good, it's a good quality construction. The only thing is the fabric feels a lot thinner. It's not as sturdy, and I think it would rip a lot easier. That's probably the only downside, but in saying that, it's a very sturdy jacket, very sturdy pants, and I honestly don't think that's going to be a problem at all. Obviously you'll just be conscious to not get yourself snagged on sticks, but again, if you're wearing gaiters and you put them on the outside of these pants, it shouldn't be a problem at all. So basically I've saved 298 grams from upgrading from the Northface to the Outdoor Research Ventures, the Outdoor Research Heliums. So I'll review them once I've actually worn them out on the trail, which I've yet to do. So that's that. Just a few little notes to add. They're my main water systems. I have looked into an ultralight, or I wouldn't say ultralight, I'd say a lightweight umbrella. This one is from Sea to Summit. It's reasonably priced and easy for me to get in Australia. I could have gone with a lot lighter options, however, you know, it's hard to buy reasonably priced products in Australia that aren't too heavy, and you know, Sea to Summit is, you know, in the Australian market. So I've got their umbrella. I'll try it out, I'll review it and see if it's worth taking in weight. I figured that it would give me extra shelter on a hot day, and on a rainy day I can sort of sit and eat my lunch under an umbrella instead of trying to huddle under a tree and kind of still get wet and things like that. So that came to 225 extra grams. So the weight I've saved, you know, has been taken up by the umbrella. But you know what, I'll try it, I'll tell you if it's worth it. I think there's a lot of benefits and versatility from carrying an extra umbrella. You know, on a side note, you may not want to put all your wet weather gear on if it's just a little bit of a drizzle. You know, I can see like this would be a perfect thing to use. You know, when you see the clouds coming, you're like, do I put my raincoat on? Do I not put it on? You know, you're wasting all your time taking it on and off all day. You know, so I think this actually might be very useful. I'm going to touch on my towel here. On the Overland Track, it rained pretty much all day, 3 to 4 hours of very constant downpour. Everything was saturated. My pack was saturated, which was apparently waterproof, but it's not. Anyway, everything was saturated. Thankfully, everything was in dry bags. I was dry because I wore my rain gear. However, you just, to speed up with everything drying quicker, we had a tech towel from Sea to Summit, very lightweight, and I believe these things are certainly worth carrying with you to help dry off, you know, just dry your face, or if you've had a shower, you know, dry yourself off, or, you know, I helped use to suck out, I guess, moisture from in the base of my pack, just because it's so cold and I wanted it to dry quickly before repacking it again. Otherwise, I'd just have water sitting in the bottom of my pack for, you know, for the next 2 or 3 days. So this towel was worth it, and I just hung it up to dry, and surprisingly, it dried mostly overnight, despite being probably about 2 to 3 degrees outside. So I highly recommend taking a towel just to help with keeping you dry, and it's good, you know, after a shower, or just use as a face washer and things like that. They do dry quick. Just hang it on your pack during the day, and yeah, so it's a towel, doesn't weigh too much. And the last piece of equipment I'm going to mention is if you're freezing cold and it's raining, you know, generally I won't wear gloves. However, if it is very, very cold, I'll still wear them. These are just soft shell gloves. I don't think it's worth buying the ones that are waterproof. It just doesn't work. Your hands then get sweaty and clammy, and what are you achieving at the end of the day? You know, you might as well not wear them at all. Or you can wear these guys. When they get wet, they'll still keep your hands warm because you've already generated that warmth. So that's just what I go with. I've also got some spray solution I put on these guys, and that also it adds an extra layer of waterproofing, so it takes longer for the water to absorb into them. So that's it. That's what I wear when I go hiking. Those new Helium 2s I'm looking forward to trying out on my next hike, so I'll review them. I'll break down the others in more detail in another video, like the poncho and the Northface jacket. And just to note, these are Sea to Summit Quagmire gaiters. I recommend them. They're a perfect length. They're not too long, they're not too short, and they certainly do protect you from when you go bushwhacking, and most importantly, it gives you an extra layer of protection if you are hiking in an area prone for snakes. So yeah, thanks for watching another of my videos. Please do hit the like button if you enjoyed it, and if you want to see more and get updated about my further videos as they are released, hit the subscribe button too. Thanks for sticking around and watching, everyone. I hope you were able to take something from my video to help you in the decisions of what equipment you may or may not want to take on the trail.